This video is one in a series of videos that is intended to aid trainers and handlers in the AKC sport of obedience. It is intended as an enhancement to training and an aid to understanding the sport's requirements. It is hoped that the viewer will better understand the regulations, procedures, and scoring associated with the sport. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you'll be notified of new videos in the series. In order to master this exercise, it is important to understand the regulations. Reading the regulations may not answer all of your questions, so we recommend that you view this video and attend any judges' panel discussion or regulations seminars that may be available to the handler or trainer. AKC Judges Education webinars and videos are excellent resources as well. In this video, we will discuss the Utility Directed Retrieve exercise. In Utility A, this exercise follows the scent discrimination exercises. The order of the exercises is always the same in Utility A and in Order 1 of the 6 orders of Utility B. All utility exercises are performed off-leash. The principal features of the directed retrieve exercise are that the dog stay until directed to retrieve and that it complete the retrieve of the designated glove. In AKC Regulations, Chapter 5, Section 3, we are told that there are 30 points available in this exercise. The team must retain more than 50% of the points available in the exercise, or 15.5 points in order to qualify. The basic elements of the directed retrieve exercise are that the dog is required to wait until ordered to fetch, remain in heel position while the handler pivots to the designated glove, wait until directed and sent for the designated glove, go directly to the designated glove when sent, fetch the glove, return directly to the handler with the glove. The equipment required for the directed retrieve is one set of 3 gloves. The requirements for the gloves are as follows. The gloves must be predominantly white. They must be clean enough to be considered predominantly white. They may not have attachments. They must open and contain nothing. They may have the dog's picture, name, or insignia on them. They may not, however, display titles. The judge must approve a set of gloves and may reject that set if they do not comply. Preparation for the directed retrieve exercise begins before the handler ever enters the ring. The judge will designate for the ring steward where he or she wants the gloves to be placed in the ring. A glove is to be placed in each corner of the ring about 3 feet from the ring barrier. A third glove is placed in the center of the ring about 3 feet from the ring barrier. The judge will instruct the steward how and when to place the gloves for the exercise. In Utility A or Pattern 1, this will occur after the scent discrimination exercises. The steward will enter the ring and go to the spot arranged by the judge. On the judge's signal, the steward will drop a glove at one corner and proceed to the middle of the end of the ring and then to the far corner. The glove is to be dropped, not placed. However it lands, that is where it stays. We will watch the exercise in its entirety and then break down procedure, scoring, and errors.
Directed retrieve.
Heel, 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 heel. Get close. Good.
Are you ready?
Ready.
2.
Get him push. Fetch.
Take it.
Out.
Finish. Exercise finish.
Yes.
Upon completing the scent discrimination exercises, the handler will move to the center of the ring between the two jumps. After the gloves are in place, the judge will ask if the handler is ready. If so,
Ready.
the judge will say the number of the glove
Get him
indicated on the judge's posting sheet. The judge will say 1 or 2 or 3. This is considered the first order. The handler will pivot to the
Out.
correct glove and indicate that glove to the dog and send it.
Get close.
The handler must give a verbal command to send the dog.
Fetch it.
The handler may not touch or reposition the dog. The handler may bend his or her knees or body to be able to indicate the glove to the dog. The indication is to be given in a single motion with the left hand and arm alongside the dog's head. The verbal send command must be given simultaneously with the signal or immediately thereafter. The handler must then return to the natural position. After the command, the dog must go directly to the glove, pick it up quickly and cleanly, and return it directly to the handler. The dog should do this without unnecessary mouthing, and the dog should return to the handler and sit in the front position. The judge will order, "Take it," and the dog is to release the glove upon command without resistance. The judge will then order, "Finish," and the handler will command or signal the dog to finish.
Exercise finished. Finish.
The judge will inform the handler that the exercise is complete by saying,
Exercise finished.
"Exercise finished." It is important to remember that the penalties assigned by the judge may exceed those described in the regulations should the error be greater than what would normally be seen. Further, penalties for lack of control or lack of teamwork are assigned based upon common judging practice. For example, if the dog went to the designated glove and lay down, commencing to play with it, and then returned to the handler with the glove, the penalty would reflect more than just a poor pickup. It is also important for the viewer to understand that the judges and handlers shown in our videos do not always stick to the AKC script. For example, instead of giving the first order 3, the judge might just say, "Take 3," or "Glove 3." An AKC rep hearing this might mention that to the judge and correct it, or might not. Judges are human and try to behave in a human fashion. Instead of ordering "Take it," they may say, "Take the glove." The handler must be prepared for the reality that a judge might use slightly different words and not let this throw them off their game. Scoring the directed retrieve begins with the principal features of the exercise. These are explained in the regulations in Section 10 of Chapter 5. In order to qualify, the dog must stay until directed to retrieve, and it must complete the retrieve of the designated glove. Failure to do so will result in a score of NQ. At the end of the performance, the judge will enter the score into the judge's book. The judge's book will provide the handler with their score for each exercise, but no details on the specifics of the performance which resulted in that score. In order to illustrate the penalties presented here, many of the situations shown are staged. These images are not reflective of any team's normal performances. Our volunteers were kind enough to allow us to record training or staged errors to enhance the viewer's understanding. The following are errors by the team that could result in a score of NQ. On the judge's order to retrieve the designated glove, the judge will simply say the glove number. Once the judge indicates the glove number of the designated glove, the handler is to turn in place to the glove. The handler must pivot to the glove. Under or over rotation should be penalized. Should the dog fail to move to a place where the handler thinks the dog can be successful in the retrieve, he or she might be tempted to adjust the dog. The handler may not reposition or touch the dog, nor may the handler physically position the dog. This is prohibited by the regulations and would result in a score of NQ. Once the handler pivots and stops, the position assumed by the dog is the best it gets. The handler must direct the dog to the correct glove and must give a verbal command to fetch.
It's your directed retrieve. Are you ready?
Ready.
2.
Quarter heel.
The command
ready.
must happen
Ready.
simultaneously or immediately
Get close.
following the giving of the direction. A minor delay, a second or two, will incur a minor or substantial penalty, but a delay that is significant in the judge's eye can result in an NQ. Once the dog has left the handler to retrieve the glove, it must fetch the correct glove and bring that glove and only that glove back to the handler. Failure to complete the retrieve will result in a score of NQ. Substantial penalties may result from the following handler or dog errors. Upon the judge indicating the glove number of the designated glove, the handler is to turn in place, pivot to the glove. Under or over rotating is worthy of a
It's
penalty.
your directed retrieve. Are you
The
ready?
handler must turn in place. This is a pivot rather than a U-turn. The handler should end the pivot occupying the same place as he or she did before the pivot. In completing the pivot, the handler must be facing the designated glove. Handlers are sometimes tempted to over or under correct in order to improve the chances that the dog will take the correct glove. At the end of the pivot, the handler must be facing the designated glove or face a substantial penalty.
Quarter heel.
Get 3.
This is your directed retrieve. Are you ready?
Ready.
3.
Carter, get back. 3.
The handler must give a verbal command to fetch simultaneously after the signal indicating the correct glove. If not simultaneously, immediately thereafter.
2.
Should the handler not give a verbal command to fetch simultaneously with the direction or immediately thereafter, the handler will incur a penalty. Depending upon the amount of delay, the resulting penalty will be substantial, up to and including an NQ.
Directed retrieve. Are you ready?
Ready.
2.
Quarter heel.
This is your directed retrieve. Are you ready? Ready. 2. Get it.
The dog must go directly to the designated glove. In other words, without stopping or deviation and at a trot or a gallop. The degree of deviation determines the significance of the penalty. A dog that goes to the wrong glove and then goes to the correct glove and retrieves it has only completed part of the principal feature of the exercise, and a substantial to NQ penalty should result. Minor to substantial penalties may result from the following handler or dog errors. As in the retrieve on the flat, the dog must complete the recall portion of the exercise so that the handler can take the glove. This is further referenced in the novice recall exercise. The dog must come close enough that the handler can touch the dog's head without excessive reaching, bending, or moving of the feet. As with the previously discussed exercises, some penalties are referenced in different sections or chapters. The directed retrieve exercise is to be completed while continuing to meet the previously established criteria. In performing the exercise, the dog must respond at a trot or a gallop. The pickup should be quick and clean. The dog should not pounce on the glove with his feet, nor push it around prior to picking it up.
Finish.
Dropping the glove, mouthing the glove, reluctance to release the glove on command should all result in a penalty. In directing and sending the dog, the handler may bend their knees and body. This is to be proportionate with the size of the dog. The handler must then stand erect and assume the natural position after sending the dog. Failure to return to the natural position after directing and sending the dog must be penalized. Please like, subscribe, and share this video so that others can learn as well. For other videos, you can go to the playlist by using the following QR code. Thank you for watching our video. We hope in some way it's provided some hints or clues or an education in how the exercises are to be performed.